We're in the library, and I've got papers, and that means Dr. Lori, value this with Dr. Lori.
A lot of libraries, all these libraries, but not libraries. Those are libraries I studied in. Some of them were really nice, but this one is spectacular. I mean, if you look up in this library is fantastic. It's a gorgeous environment for today's episode.
Unbelievable, and almost as good some of the viewer questions that we've got, and we'll be answering them coming up. Value this with Dr. Lori. Dr. Lori, value this with Dr. Lori. Why do I feel I really should be whispering?
Well, I'm so loud all the time. but you know, you do feel comfortable here even though it's a library. It really is one of those wonderful places. And of course, we are at the Mercer Library here at the Mercer Museum in Doylestown.
It's just fabulous. All right.
It's beautiful.
Previously, we talked about some viewer questions, and we've got more of them. And you know, this was the one that I left everybody on the last time, and it's a great one because I want to know the answer to this. What should I collect for greatest return and value? My question, that was the viewer question, mine is of old stuff and new stuff that we set aside.
Right. So everybody asks me this, Dr. Lori, what do we collect now? What do we collect now? I always tell you that pieces will increase in value at anniversaries. Right? So you want to think about what the anniversary is. Like right now, we're in 2017, so we are experiencing a spike in the market of World War I collectibles.
Because it's a
100 years from World War I.
Okay.
And, you know, this is about the era of where we sit right now.
So that's the anniversary you look for, the 100 years?
100 years is going to be worth more than 50 years, for example. Okay. So that's one of the tips. But the other tip is there are categories of antiques and objects that are more valuable than others. Your Pez dispensers, I know you love them, but guess what? They're not going to probably get you the retirement hut in Fiji.
Beanie Babies.
So, you hate Beanie Babies, but some Beanie Babies are valuable. But basically, I want you to have an understanding of fine art, which is paintings and sculptures, furniture, right? That's if it's made of solid, good woods, or, of course, metals, and, of course, precious metals, including jewelry. Those three categories have historically held their value. So if they've historically held their value, there's no reason to think that they're not going to continue to hold their value. That doesn't mean that a Disney animation cell can't be valuable. That doesn't mean that a Picasso print can't be valuable. That doesn't mean that other categories can be valuable too, specifics. But if you're looking for broad categories, art, furniture, precious metals, including jewelry. And I want you to think about it in terms of museums, because basically we're here at the Mercer Museum. Think of it this way. When you go to a museum, what do you go look at? You look at art, you look at paintings, you look at furniture, right?
And you figure you can't afford any of it.
Right, and you look at usually the crown jewels.
Right.
In any museums around the world, you know, when we travel around the world, we basically go, oh, okay, that's what we're going to look at. So those usually hold their value. So remember, fine art, furniture, precious metals, including jewelry, and remember those anniversaries that are coming. That's where the value will be. Collecting what's coming, which is usually an anniversary of something.
Okay, I love jewelry, so do I go out now and buy new jewelry for me that I love and then just tell all my descendants stop selling it for 100 years?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Sure, because precious metals and precious stones will maintain their value. You've got to make sure that you get something of high quality.
Yeah, okay.
Okay?
All right.
Yeah, and a good GIA certified jeweler will be able to help you with that.
Okay, all right. So where to put the money?
So you know what to get. So you just have to go doing it.
Okay, antique furniture. I know you're always saying, and the question is, how often should I clean my antique furniture? And I know you're not a big fan of a lot of cleaning of antiques.
You know, my Italian Catholic mother, who is immaculate, hates it when I would say this because I want you to be a little dirty, and the reason for it is because you're putting some type of material, a spray or an oil on top, and you're basically creating more dirt. Dirt gets attracted to certain things, so you just don't be overzealous with the cleaning.
How do you clean antique furniture?
How you clean antique furniture? White cotton cloth, old tube socks, old t-shirt, something like that, even underwear. Get all of the surface dirt off of it.
Dry cloth, no oil, no nothing.
Your hands are going to do a lot of damage. You don't know the oils that you have on your hands, and you're putting it onto pieces. So you want to think about that. Don't be overzealous with the commercial cleaners. You know, take out the pledge and put it everywhere. Only a little bit. Or less is always more when you're cleaning antique furniture. But surface dirt is what you want to get rid of. You know, once every 2 weeks, get the dust off of it.
But you don't have to can't use or shouldn't use water to That's how I do it.
Don't be overzealous, and don't be overzealous with everything like water or like linseed oil or anything that could be a drying agent.
Okay.
So just don't be overzealous. Don't go, mad crazy doing it.
Okay, and I think time for one more question. Do I really need a frame around my oil painting?
Yes, you need a frame. Yes, buy a frame.
Because it would crack otherwise?
It protects the piece. It protects the oil on canvas. It protects that all-important perimeter, which is where the canvas is actually stretched around the stretcher, and that is basically, it's kind of like your spine for a painting. You want to make sure that that painting's perimeter or spine is basically protected. That's what the frame does. The frames can also be valuable, particularly old frames. You want to get a frame. It is an excellent investment.
Okay, and it's the stretcher you're really talking about.
Yeah, the
so
stretcher,
turn it over.
Turn it over. The stretcher is the pieces of wood that aren't basically shown. Okay. The frame goes on the front side.
Okay, and if the painting looks loose on it, then go somewhere reputable and get it.
Call your local museum. Get a reference for a good restorer or conservator.
Great idea. Right? I like that. Yeah. I would have just hammered a...
No.
Oh, Dr. Lori, I know. I just kidding.
But good questions.
Yes, great questions. All right, thanks, viewers, for that. And I hope we, illuminated some of the other viewers on some of this stuff. So, thank you. We are at the Mercer Library, so we're speaking loudly. That's just because we break the rules. All right, Dr. Lori, thanks so much, and we'll see you next time on Value This with Dr. Lori.